Hi, my name is Susan Elliott, and I'm the author of Getting Past Your Breakup, How to Turn a Devastating Loss into the Best Thing That Ever Happened to You. And this is the video series to accompany the book. I'm doing a series of videos on each chapter that's basically designed to help people who either haven't bought the book and want to know more of what it's about, or people who have the book and want a little bit of explanation about certain things. And the chapter that I want to talk about in this video is the rules of disengagement. The beginning of the book is a quote from vaudeville comedian Henny Youngman. It says, the patient says, "Doctor, it hurts when I do this." And the doctor says, "Well, then don't do that." That is basically the undercurrent of going no contact with your ex. There has to be a break, there has to be healing, and there has to be a separate identity of you becoming more of an individual and less of a couple. And it might hurt you to have to say that and to have to be the person who admits that you're now going to be transitioning into singlehood. But that's one of the roles that you have to play right now. You have to be getting into the mindset of being a single person again. And that's not a bad thing. There are many things that people can do on their own that's more difficult in a relationship. There are, going back to school, changing jobs, moving. I mean, these are all things that are more difficult when you're in a relationship than when you're out. But many times, before we jump ahead to that, many times people struggle with the idea of I'm not in a relationship anymore. And they continually talk to their ex as if the ex is still in their life. It's especially painful when the ex is the person who did the breaking up, because many times the ex will say, "Why can't we be friends? Why can't we see each other? I don't understand." And you really have to resist those overtures. People will say, "Oh, well, a mature person would be friends with me." Well, good for a mature person. Perhaps I'm not being mature. Perhaps I'm being childish, but I don't want to talk to you anyway. Period. End of story. Don't let those exes who want to be friends into your life, because it's going to be painful for you, and it's actually going to assuage their guilt. If you're willing to be friends with them, how bad could they be? So it's really a good idea to not be friends with them. This chapter gives you the 7 excuses that will keep you stuck. And the first one is what I just talked about. Why can't we be friends? And I think that it's really important to not be bullied into being friends. It's just not worth it, and it's going to be very painful in the end. But the second excuse is one that I usually hear from people that have nothing to do with their ex. They'll say, "I must have closure." And I'm here to tell you that you cannot get closure from another person. You can only get closure from inside yourself. It doesn't matter what they say, what they do, whether they stand on their head and spit nickels, whether they tell you the most wonderful thing in the world and they're sorry they walked away from that, or they say you're the most horrible human being that ever walked the face of the earth. None of these things are going to make you feel better. None of them. There are many questions that you have, but you told me you loved me. I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, if you were a person in that position, the person says, "Oh, I meant it at the time," or, "Well, maybe I didn't really love you," or, "I did really love you. I don't know what happened," or, "I still love you. I just don't want to be with you." I mean, which of those answers are going to make you feel better? I can tell you which one. None of them. None of them are going to make you feel better. You're going to have all kinds of questions about what happened here, and what happened there, and what happened then, and you said this, and you said that, and this went on, and blah, 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 and yeah. And nothing that anyone ever says to you is going to make you feel better. So this whole closure thing is seriously nonsense. There are a lot of questions. But at some point, you have to accept that there's no answers. And that the answers that there might be are not going to make you feel any better. You have to decide that the answers aren't important. The only thing that's important is your healing. And in order to heal, you have to stop with this "I need closure" nonsense, because it's only keeping you back. The third thing is similar to that. I just need to make sense of it all, or I just have one more thing to say before you go. It's all of this controlling, berating. I want to get you in the corner and make you understand. I want you to explain this to me. I want to, you said you weren't attracted to X people and now you're with that sort of person. I want answers. I want them now. Or the X might be a little hesitant about the position that they're taking. And so you think that if you could just get there into the brain of your ex, and knock some sense into them, that they will come back and realize the error of their ways. But the problem with that is that you have to keep somebody thinking clearly all the time. And that's just too big of a job. You want to be with somebody who thinks correctly, or the way that's compatible with the way you think, without being browbeaten into it. So you have to let that go. The fourth thing is, I want to be available to reconciliation. And this is a pipe dream that a lot of people engage in. They think that as long as they're out there and able to be contacted, that their ex will come back, or the ex will know how to get back in touch with them. Trust me, if your ex wants to come back, they're going to know how to get in touch with you. So enough with that as an excuse. The fifth one is about giving stuff back. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Get the stuff exchanged early in the breakup, and then forget about it. If you find a bunch of stuff from your exes, throw it in a box, no note, no nothing, send it. But you're not a storage facility, so after like 30 days, you should forget about anything that you find of theirs. If they want it, they should come back for it within those 30 days. Otherwise, it's gone. And same thing for you. It's like, you need to get your stuff. Don't leave stuff of your exes just so you can ask for one thing at a time back. It's like, you need to not do that.